Well, good morning, folks, and welcome to Focus on Liberia live from the home of the chairman of the Opposition Unity Party, the Reverend Dr. Tarpeh. Well, we are here this morning according to reports. His home was gutted by fire. It's been termed as an arson attack, allegedly. And so we've come to provide you coverage just to find out and perhaps hear from those who are closely associated with Reverend Dr. Tarpeh, and perhaps hearing from himself. And so we are here to provide you coverage this morning. And so from just wherever you are joining us, whatever you're doing, welcome. My name is Steve Williams. And of course, this is the situation here in the rehab copper farm community where the chairman of the Opposition Unity Party resides, Reverend Dr. Tarpeh. This is the home, folks. I'm told it was gutted by fire, and they are terming it as an arson attack, allegedly by some unknown men. But we hear from the house's home of. We just thought to tour you around this facility. Then we will actually bring you some interviews here this morning. And so just to drill you through this facility, this is the vehicle that was also burned to ashes. This is the vehicle that was also burned to ashes. And so from just wherever you are following us, I'd like you to please share the video as we move along this wonderful Friday morning. And so this is the home of Reverend Tarpeh here in the rehab copper farm community. We just thought to come out here to provide you all of the coverage and get the necessary information that you need to know. We'll speak with Reverend Tarpeh very shortly. I just spotted him somewhere around. We'll also attempt to speak to the Secretary General of the Opposition Unity Party, Amos Twe, and others. As I speak to you, this place is charged with partisans and officials of the Opposition Unity Party, as well as bystanders. And so welcome, folks. This is the vehicle of the Unity Party chairman, Reverend Tarpeh, burned to ashes. Well, according to what we gathered so far, so good, this is an alleged arson attack on the home of the chairman of the Opposition Unity Party, Reverend Dr. Tarpeh. And we yet to see members of the Liberia National Police. I'm sure they will move in very quickly, and I'm sure an investigation will be launched in order to ascertain the facts as to how this facility got burned by fire. And so just to drill it through, let me see what I can speak to Reverend Dr. Tarpeh now, or the chairman of the Opposition Unity Party, Amos Twe. Like I told you earlier on, the entire Unity Party hierarchy is here, and so we will try to do our best to speak with them one by one to give us their own account about the incident here today.
Immediately asked them to go in and get my kids. So two of them came out first, and then the other one was in the street room. He doesn't usually sleep there, but he for that night he went there, and so when we finally found out that he wasn't there, we had to brave the storm and find a way to call his attention. So in the process, when he woke up from bed around 1:30 a.m., he got very confused. And in his fear, he tried his best to crawl under the falling ceilings and all of that. Luckily, by God's grace, he was able to get out. And as soon as he got out, the ceiling caged in, and the vehicle got fired. It was like, it was so desperately confused. But I'm very thankful to the neighbors who came to our aid in the midst of our perplexity. They came and tried their best to contain the fire. But from all indication, the fire was so raging and could not be contained at all. And so the neighbors gave up. Almost about 300 people were drinking water from the other side. They were drinking sand, they were drinking a lot of things. And so I'm deeply grateful for the communal concern.
What's your source of power? Do you have a generator?
Well,
are you on the LEC?
Very usually we have LEC, but our community have been without LEC for pretty close to 2 months now. So I have a solar panel, which is on that house, but it all broke down. I also have a diesel generator. So in the absence of the LEC, we interchangeably use the solar panel and the diesel. And so I can't really tell where the fire came from, but it came precisely from the garage. It got to the car first, and then advanced to the living room.
Is that where you have the generator?
It was way on the other side.
Was it on last night?
It wasn't on when the fire was there.
So what are you sensing, Reverend Tarpeh?
I can't know for sure. I can't say for sure, but from all indication where it started, in fact, the neighbors were the one who saw the fire.
Okay.
And alarmed us first. And they jumped over the fence to come to our rescue. So I can't say where it came from, but from here you can see that it came from the garage and advanced to the living room and so forth. So
Reverend, how many persons are in the house?
I have about 8 persons, and 7 were able to come out immediately when they saw the fire. And my last son came out a few minutes later, but he burned. Right now he's at the hospital with his mom.
What is the degree of the wound sustained?
Yeah, he got one person got injured. And so I'm grateful to God and to our neighbors who came to help us. We made an attempt to even call the fire service, but we were told, a neighbor of mine told me that from his call, the fire service said there are 3 problems. Number 1, they had no fuel. Number 2, the engine couldn't start, the car engine couldn't start, and they had no water.
I mean, you just next door from the president's house. Are you saying, does that mean even if, God forbid, today the president's house got on fire, there's no fire service truck around here to intervene quickly?
Well, it's obvious that if the president's house had been gotten with fire, they would find me. I'm not the president. So it's so obvious that they will just ignore a call of a citizen who is in danger and in need of their help. But they say, whatever you can do, do it. And our taxpayer money is paying these guys every month, and yet they cannot show up when we need them most. So it's quite unfortunate.
Reverend, we heard your secretary speaking to us that you got information about some of these attacks since your election as chairperson of the Opposition Unity Party. Have you been able to report the issue? Or is it true that you guys got intelligence that people were telling you?
Well, obviously, if you are at the position where I am, of course, you have been the chairman of the Unity Party. I'm not surprised that people will be telling me. even at my school campus. There was an invasion. Immediately after the convention in Wembley, the security was beating. They ran into the school, stole some things. But we come to try to settle it internally. And then people have been saying, well, there's some strange cars that come to my compound outside the gate. Even the other day, my wife saw a black car just parking ready for my gate. And so when my wife got there, they drove away. So I'm not surprised.
But did you report this incident to the police? I mean, people telling you coming to the street, people coming
Well, again, tell what police, okay, let's leave police. Fire truck that should come and rescue me and my family, and they telling me no fuel.
No, I'm asking about the issue of you observing people telling you people coming to a strange car coming in front of your resident. Did you report it to the police?
Well, do we have serious-minded police in this country? Didn't the president tell us to get our own CCTVs? I mean, let's get serious with this country, all right? Let's be serious. Ordinary citizens are hurting. The government needs to set up and do a job. They took oath to protect all of us. But they can't be protecting citizens alone. When we are in dire need of government help, they should show up. And I'm so disappointed that several thousands of dollars just got in flame, and there was no response from anywhere. But I'm deeply grateful to God, first for my life and for saving my children. My son Nathaniel could have died in the fire. It would have been a different thing for me and my family this morning. And so I'm deeply grateful for the neighbors and all of our partisans and well-wishers from my church, from our office who came by to, stand with us in the midst of this time. But I'm grateful that no life was lost. But to find out that the government cannot help their citizens when the citizens need them is so much discouraging. And President, we need to sit up and lead this country. He needs to do that because he has a mandate from the Liberian people for 6 years. And if people are telling me because I'm a unity partisan, I want to be very clear. Nobody's going to intimidate me. We want to provide the leadership of our party. If they don't like it, it's their business. But we're going to do what we're supposed to do for our country. And I want to thank all of our well-wishers, party stalwarts who have come to, stand with me and my family in this time of disaster. I'm really grateful to all of you.
Before I take this of you, please, on Spawn TV, you made mention of the fact that you don't have serious-minded police in this country. You, as a chairperson of a major or the leading opposition party, the Unity Party, what are you going to put in place to make sure that your partisans and you yourself are being protected while you go out to do your normal business as a political party?
Well, the president said we should find CCTV for ourselves, right? We should take our own security. So from now henceforth, we're going to provide the security for ourselves. That's what we're going to do. We're going to follow the president's order.
Is that the next course of action?
Well, I have to do it because from all indication, as a chairman of my party, I know I've become a target, but by the grace of God, no one can take my life. They didn't give me my life, so they can take it away, but we'll protect ourselves.
Okay.
Reverend, let me ask you, with all of this, are you suspecting foul play in this fire disaster? Are you suspecting foul play?
Or the chairman of the opposition Unity Party, they're speaking with a team of journalists who are here to cover this scene. And of course, you heard him speak. You heard the voice of Reverend Dr. Luther Tarpeh speak to journalists. And of course, we're still here providing you coverage. This is another angle of the home of Reverend J. Luther Tarpeh, chairman of the opposition Unity Party. And so you're watching Focus on Liberia Online Television with me, T.O. Williams. And so from just wherever you are watching us, whatever you're doing, I want to say welcome. Welcome. We are still here providing you coverage. Let me try to move in and enter, I'm sure this is the degree at which the home was burned. This is the degree at which the home was burned. I'm sure this is the kitchen. And so still with us, you're watching Focus on Liberia Online Television. We want to talk to the chairman of the Opposition Unity Party in presence of Amos Twe. He's just right before our camera. And so we'll speak with Amos very shortly. But keep watching Focus on Liberia Online Television. We are still here at the home of Reverend Dr. Luther Tarpeh, chairman of the Opposition Unity Party here in the Rehab Copper Farm community. This is the home, folks, as you are watching in this live Well, you listen to Reverend Dr. Luther Tarpeh, who sounded very devastated, sounded very broken. And so it's believed that this is an alleged arson attack on the home of the chairman of the Unity Party, Reverend Dr. Luther Tarpeh. Let's talk to the Secretary General of the Opposition Unity Party. Let's talk to Amos Twe, the man who was elected Secretary General of the Opposition Unity Party. Welcome to Focus on Liberia Online Television.
Thank you.
How long have you been here?
Since this morning.
And what have you gathered as per the situation here?
This is an attempt to. It's not an ordinary fire. It's not an ordinary fire. It's important to stress that, since our election as National Chairman Dr. Tarpeh and myself as Secretary General, agents of the government have been very much uneasy. And so they will go at every length to silence us, to intimidate us. Tarpeh has been very forceful, preaching internal reconciliation to bring the opposition back together.
Okay.
And they are aware of the fact that when the opposition is united, it is going to be one-round success for the opposition community. So they don't want that to happen. So as a result of that, they will use different kinds of channels and intimidating tactics to silence us. So how can a fire start from right close to the vehicle in the fence,
okay,
and then make its way to the other house, and then all of a sudden the whole thing just boom around, and the whole flame. So I think I'm told about 7 to 8 people in the house last night.
Okay.
Fortunately, none of them died, but one person got severely injured. Okay. So we consider this to be an attack on the opposition community.
Mr. Twe, you are accusing the government of being the mastermind behind this. I'd like to know from you, what's your reliance to that?
Agents of the government. Our reliance is the different incidences that have occurred over the last several months. For example, in Lofa County,
okay,
Thomas Fala went and trained militias, and put them in Kaki. they intimidated opposition members. Okay, we saw that. Here in Monrovia, the incident in district number 13 and district number 15. And of course, I think you followed the video quite recently that's making rounds on the social media, where the youth leader of the opposition indicated that they would go at every length to intimidate opposition, to cause counter-protests here and there. And that has not just been a mere statement, but they've been followed up by different unnecessary and disappointing actions. On July 26th, you saw that elements of the CDC torture a young university student. So the government was so silent. After 6 days later, as a result of pressure from the international community, the president had to come up to make some deceptive comments. So all of those different statements and incidences, if you accumulate them, we can be able to calculate definitely that those are some of the different grand designs by the government of Liberia to continue to intimidate the opposition community. And this is something that is very unnecessary. You're not protecting the democracy of our country, but rather you're undermining the democracy of our country, intimidating people, and all of these are geared towards stealing the votes of the Liberian people in 2023. And I must say to you that the opposition community is going to be very much ready to stand with the citizens of Liberia to protect the democratic will, that any attempt by the government of Liberia to effectuate or to use any intimidating tactics to thwart the democratic will, it will be resisted very seriously.
I'm sure this facility has some security guards. What have you gathered so far from them?
That's the situation we've gathered from them. The only thing we said to
where were they when the situation occurred?
Of course, the way they can usually be. Security is usually around the fence, around the gates. So the fire incident started from right between the vehicle and the other house. So you can imagine. There's nothing for that matter that is going to cause a fire, maybe besides a petrol bunker. You understand? Thrown there reportedly by elements, agents of government. So this is something that we can definitely deduce that it was something that is a grand design.
You think it's awesome?
It's awesome, of course. It's a grand design, and it might likely affect other opposition elements. Who knows? Maybe 2-3 weeks later on, you might hear that my own fence or my house, got up by fire. And we know that whatever investigation that the police is going to conduct, nothing is going to come out of it. The biggest thing is going to be no foul play.
Why would you say that?
No foul play.
You don't trust the police?
We don't trust the police. Because if you have a Liberian National Police officer clapping and laughing and jeering when citizens are being intimidated, they are being tortured on July 26th, you know definitely that the police is not serious.
Even though according to you don't trust the police, but let me ask you this. Have you communicated this to the police since...
Imagine since this morning.
Okay.
At 1 a.m. this morning, the incident occurred. We made frantic efforts to call all of the apparatus, all of the relevant agencies of government that's supposed to be able to focus on such a situation. None of them have come. The only, just about 10 minutes ago, we saw one police officer, sorrowfully walking in the fence, and I think it's somewhere around there. You can imagine what's going to come out of it. Okay, so they're here. We want to see what's going to come out of it, but we can deduce definitely that the only thing that they will tell the public is that there's no foul play. There's no foul play. So we are going to be protectors of our own lives, protectors of our own properties, because we know this is something that is calculated, that's grand, that's designed by the ruling element.
Is that the next course of action?
Of course, it's to continue to protect ourselves. The president himself indicated that to us when he spoke a couple of months back that government cannot be all over the place. So what we need to do is to purchase CCTV for ourselves.
Well, you talked about protection, Mr. Twe. How are you going to protect yourself?
If somebody is coming to physically attack you, how do you protect yourself? If somebody is coming to physically attack you, you got to protect yourself in the physical sense of protection. That's what I'm talking about.
Your final message?
Oh, there's no final message. We'll continue to tell our citizens not to be intimidated. Going forward, we'll continue to preach reconciliation and peace. But at the same time, we will tell the Liberian people and even the international community that when these incidences continue to occur, we will not sit down clapping. We are not going to sit down clapping. There will be some retaliation.
You don't think this could be as a result of some aggrieved Unity Party partisans from the just end the convention?
You cannot attribute such a situation very inhumane to a Unity Party partisan that also subscribe to the value system of the party that is very clearly determined to work with Liberians to democratically to dethrone this government. Maybe this is it could be a small screen by elements of the government to say that, you know, Unity Party partisan, but it's not Unity Party partisan. It's an extended aggression.
Okay.
And it's masterminded by agents reportedly of the government of Liberia.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's Amos Twe, Secretary General of the former ruling Unity Party, speaking with Focus on Liberia Online Television, where we stay here at the home of Reverend Dr. Luther Tarpeh, Chairman of the opposition Unity Party. Well, we will speak to all of those major actors within the party as they come. I earlier on saw scores of them, and so we will speak with them as they come. Still with us, we're taking a short break, and if the need arises, we'll rejoin you subsequently. And so, on behalf of the team, our dynamic CEO, Reverend Mr. Dennis Jar, who is in Atlanta, Georgia, the U.S., Head of Operations, Anthony C., and all members of the Focus on Liberia team. My name is Theo Williams, bidding you farewell for now from Painesville, precisely Copper Farm, Rehab, at the home of Reverend Dr. J. Luther Tarpeh, Chairman of the Opposition Unity Party.